Right. So this is something that I seen on a YouTube video, but I can't find it again. So I decided to recreate it myself. This is going to be for a breakfast wrap, but it's different than any other breakfast wrap that I've seen. So I've pre-made some scrambled eggs here, a little bit of butter to help lubricate things, got a little bit of sausage, some onions, some bacon, some cheese, and a couple of tortillas. So this is obviously to your taste. This is what we're going to use this morning. So we're going to put a little bit of eggs in here, just enough to cover a nice little layer of the pan. Alright. We're going to let this cook up just for a minute or two. And as soon as it starts firming up on the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to throw a tortilla on top of that. That's going to be the outside of our wrap. So as this is firming up, add a little bit more heat here. It's already starting to firm up. As this is firming up, we're going to leave the top liquid just before it starts to harden. Going to throw that tortilla on there, and that's going to cement these two together. That's going to give us our outside of our wrap so we can use our fingers to eat it, and give us a nice coating of egg on the inside. So, get in around here, make sure we got everything prepped. And even though it's a non-stick pan, it's always a good idea to add a little bit of extra lubricant in there just to make sure nothing's sticking for any reason. Now, as you can see, now you get these little bubbles. That's kind of an indication you're getting close to what you want to have here. So we're going to put this tortilla on top, and it may not perfectly be sized right, but we're just kind of experimenting a little bit here. So we're going to let that kind of cement in there. I'm going to finish going around the edge with a little bit more butter so that firms up a little bit better. And as you can tell, when I start going in here, see how the whole thing's starting to move? That means it's firming up to the point where we want to flip it. So it doesn't take very long at all. We know it's not going to stick.
It's already moved.
So I'm just making sure that side's done nice and brown. See how that's starting? Now you can see this still wiggles a little bit. It doesn't move as one piece. It means it's still pretty wet in here. So we're going to give it a minute or two. And one of the tricks that I do with my eggs is if you use a high-speed blender, I like the high-speed blender because I incorporate a lot of air, make them fluffy. It makes the eggs nice and fluffy and a little bit more texture than eating them when you're eating them. And if you look here in the pan, they are fluffing up really nice. See how it's nice and fluffy in there? Still a little bit more time here. You can see the tortilla is starting to pop a little bit, so the heat's getting through there really good. And I'm going to try a trick I haven't tried in years. If this doesn't work, we're going to get out the tongs and do it the right way. Probably should have my wife doing this. She's got better practice than I do. But I'm going to give it a shot here. Oops. Too much butter, I think. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Get a tongue underneath here, one on top, and flip that sucker over. Doesn't that look nice? So we've got a nice golden brown there. Now's the time where you want to lower the heat, and we're going to get a cap on here. First, we're going to put some ingredients. My personal favorite, and this is going to be for my tortilla, or my breakfast wrap. My wife doesn't like the cheese. So we're going to do without cheese on hers. And about half that. I really like the onions, so I'm going to take these, put them in there.
You can put half. half a cheese, half one.
Oh, and yours?
In that one whole thing. So that we can cut it, the one without the cheese for me.
No, I did a whole nother one to make.
Okay.
Thanks for making commentary for my video. And then I like my meat, so I'm gonna put a couple of things of bacon in here for me. And top it all off with a good portion of cheese here. I'm a big fan of cheese, so we're going to get a little bit more cheese than most people would probably care for. All right, make sure our flame is very low. Okay, put a lid on here. We're just going to let that sit for a minute to get all the cheese melty, get the meats reheated, because when I prepared them, they go back to room temperature while I was waiting for everything to get prepared. So we wanted to get that all nice and toasty in there. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to wrap it out here. Now, if you notice, there is some unmelted cheese there on the top. Not a big deal, because once we fold that over, the heat will take care of that. So I'll pop this over. About halfway through, we lift up the skillet and fold it. Boom. Now, you can see, got a beautiful wrap with the tortilla on the outside. Can hold that without getting your hands all messy very easily. It's a little bit warm. And beautiful breakfast, I think. Thank you.